Verses 14 through 17. It says, Then John's disciples came and asked him, How is it that we and the Pharisees fast often, but your disciples do not fast? Jesus answered, How can the guests of the bridegroom mourn while he is with them? The time will come when the bridegroom will be taken from them, then they will fast. No one sews a patch of unshrunk cloth on an old garment, for the patch will pull away from the garment, making the tear worse. Neither do people pour new wine into old wineskins. If they do, the skins will burst, the wine will run out, and the wineskins will be ruined. No, they pour new wine into new wineskins, and both are preserved. So Jesus is questioned about fasting here. And we've said before that the Old Testament only commands one yearly fast, and that's on the Day of Atonement. Now, there are other examples in the Old Testament of people fasting, but it is not commanded. It is not commanded. So can there be a spiritual benefit to fasting? Of course, yes. But is it necessary or commanded for New Testament believers? No. Clearly, the disciples of John the Baptizer followed the traditions of fasting regularly. By the time of Jesus, these traditions had started where the people who were considered the hyper-religious and righteous, they would fast 2 days a week, and they wanted everybody to know, we saw that in the Sermon on the Mount, they wanted everybody to know that they were fasting. Okay, so they would put ashes on themselves, and they would walk around and chewing on the inside of their cheeks, kind of sucking their cheeks in, so they looked like they were, famished and so forth. And that's what the followers of John the Baptizer were kind of following those traditions. But Jesus had apparently taught his disciples that there was no requirement to follow man-made traditions. They weren't fasting. And Jesus answers their question about fasting with two illustrations. The first illustration is that Jesus' presence and ministry should be a cause for celebration. When he's crucified is cause for grief, and fasting is appropriate then. Well, in the Gospels, we're not there yet. The second illustration is wine and wineskins. Through Christ, God is doing something new. And the old traditions and the old forms of Judaism are not compatible with it. If you try to take the old covenant and the new covenant and mash them together, you rob both of them of any significance. Okay? So he's saying you can't put new wine in old wineskins. What happens? Why? Okay, yeah, the old wineskins won't stretch, and when the new wine ferments, the gases expand, and you lose everything.